Hey, good morning, guys. It's Goose here. Welcome to STN Stock Talk with Ricky and myself. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. I know I did in South Florida. It was beautiful weather. What a fun weekend. Anyway, just want to remind you guys a couple quick things on the, hopefully you guys have viewed us at stocktraders.net. We always encourage you guys to follow up, give us questions, and join. We have a free trading room there, guys. So you don't have to join or pay for anything. You know, you will go there, join our free trading room, get to know our community. We also have a 3-day trial. It's like 25 bucks if you guys want to check out some of the other features in the paid room. It's awesome. Hopefully you guys have gone and played around with our site and checked it out. And please send us any type of questions that you have. Any instructors will be happy to help you if you want different perspectives on this stuff. So anyway, and just a reminder, nothing worth talking to you guys about is any type of solicitation on any of these ideas. It's just ideas that Ricky and myself or whoever else pops on Stock Talk, we just want to share with you. Read the disclaimer below. Come check it out, please, over at stocktraders.net. I think you'll be extremely impressed. And I'm going to turn it right over to Ricky and get him started. We got some good names on the watch, a lot of activity this morning. It's Monday and ready to really have a kick butt day here. So, Ricky, well, I'm going to send it over to you.
Thanks a lot, Goose. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. I know Goose did. I saw his pictures on Twitter, chilling at the beach. A little bit jealous. I'll be at the beach soon enough. I moved to San Diego in June, so we'll be getting that beach in as well. Like he said, please head over to stocktraders.net, guys, and check us out. I think you would be blown away by the value that we're offering over there. First thing on my list today is going to be GERN, GERN or GERN Corp. It's a bio. They're up on earnings. Now, earnings don't typically matter for bios since most of them don't have revenues, and they're almost expected to be cash flow negative as they're always funding expensive clinical trials. But as you can see on the daily chart, this thing's been on quite the tear, with Friday actually being the first day that you could say was a decent retrace. And honestly, would have sucked to have swung this short over the weekend and wake up this morning and see it pushing 5. So I'm almost assuming that's probably what happened here is the shorts got a little bit comfortable with this first big red day, and then they woke up and got squeezed out. They don't have much cash, and they burn close to $2 million a month. They have $47 million left on an ATM, which was registered all the way back in 2015. And up until just this December, they had not sold a single share on that ATM. It wasn't until December and January that they finally decided to start tapping it, and it expires in September. I think that once the Friday shorts get worked out of this thing, it may be a good short today. I would like to see it shove into 5 again and reject. This is not a low floater, and the institutional and insider holdings is not substantial. I just hope it gives a pop to give an entry because you can see it's already come quite a bit in from that 5 push. But I would love to see how it trades once the market opens and we get some volume that's more indicative of how it should trade the rest of the day. Next thing on my list, guys, is CLRB. The company's gapping up on orphan drug designation, which has always been interesting to me. The market chasers always seem to push prices up on this news, but the fact of the matter is that any drug that aims to treat a disease that affects less than 200,000 people in the US is given this designation. So it's really not that big of a reason for price movement. I'm not really super excited about shorting CLRB unless it can get to $2, since they have a ton of common and warrants around that area, actually around the 180 area from the last offerings they did. But that looks like a fantasy based on the pre-market action as of right now. I'll be monitoring it to see how it acts around $1.50 after the market opens. If it can push up to that level, I may use that as risk if it looks like that's going to be the high. But if we can get over 150s and hold, I'm going to be cheerleading this thing all the way to the 2s. This thing is a long-term turd. I don't foresee this thing being something that holds its gains, but I definitely would like to see more advantageous prices for me to get short. Now, my list is a bit short today. I'm going to hand it back over to Goose. I know he's got some good ones to make up for that. So everyone take care and go ahead and get him, Goose.
Hey, thanks a lot. And good job, guys. We're not trying to put, 4 each every day. It's not going to work like that. Good job, Ricky, as always, coming up with a couple good thoughts there. I'm going to jump right into mine. I came up with a few different ones today as well. And I want to start right into Facebook, which is obviously down like $8 now. And I got there's a couple thoughts on Facebook I have. First of all, my first area of interest is going to be this 176 area, as you can see, 175 and a half, 176. But anyway, when I say area, I mean it. In a stock with range like this, $176, you got to give it a little bit of a room there on these washes through these levels. So this is my first area of interest. I am looking for a bounce play on this. I'm hoping for a big imbalance at the open and to knock it down. And I'm actually hoping down towards this 173 area, which is what? The 200 day. So here you see it. So I would love it down here. I'm not looking to marry the idea. I said this to you the other day when we played a bounce play, on some of these. I'm just looking for that big wash and a bounce and maybe a $3 to $4 push off this. Obviously sounds crazy, $3 to $4, it's a $170 name. So you got to remember, dealing with these higher price names, that it's okay to look for some substantial moves like that. And I do think we'll get it. And I just want to remind you guys something. We always think the worst case scenario on some of these companies. Look at Apple when it was trading at 90 bucks and everybody's like, oh my God, it's done. And it's hitting all these technical levels. So just keep in mind, these technical levels mean something. And I always go with my technicals and I go with what I feel on these things and what I've seen over the last 20 plus years and seeing these things and how they trade off these technical levels. And I'm comfortable looking at this thing for a bounce off that 172 area. If it doesn't want to give it and wants to stay heavy, we'll see how it, what it retraces and all that. But that's my goal this morning, is on Facebook. I love it. I will be looking at it. It's one of my priority plays this morning for a bounce. I'm going to look over at AAXN. This is a very interesting one that I'm looking at, and I'll tell you why. It's a little bit lower, volume, a couple million a day, but this is one that's been on my list for a while, and I kind of feel like it's starting to give up this move, especially up in here when it broke. So what I was hoping this morning was, if I get lucky and there's some crazy push up into this 39 area, to look to fade it, maybe get a head start. But you can see right here, I drew a line at the 37.50 if it breaks, and I'm really feeling like it's going to have like a 20-day magnet on it and head towards 35. Entry is going to be key for me on this name, but I would love a push even into yesterday's highs, as you could see, which is 38.39, so called 38.40. We'll see how it opens. Got to be a little reactive on this, but I'll be looking to fade this name, especially if the market wants to stay heavy for us. So I'm going to move on to another one, a little lower price name. And this one we've been talking about fading when it was up here, and it made this push up to 8, and it kind of just grinded down lower. But now what I did is I drew a little retrace for you, and there's a couple things about this retrace I want you guys to see. First of all, you can see it's popped right down to the 60% area, which is a money area for me that I really like. You can see 2 days in a row, it kind of held the 620 area, and you can see you got the 20-day here. So these are a few things that I really like about it. I'll be keeping an eye. Entry is going to be key for me. I don't think it's going back to 8. That's not my goal in this name. But if I could pick it up down in this low 6s, 630, 635, whatever, anywhere in that range, I'll be looking to play it off of this with this type of risk, maybe even a $6 risk. And maybe a push back up into this mid 7, 740, 750, something like that. I think you get a nice push on it, if especially with last week's market, with a lot of these runners and a lot of these retraces actually working. This is one that's on my high priority list as well to keep an eye on. And I'm going to finish up with one more that's a little bit funny. You guys might be looking at the chart saying, it doesn't look great. But look at what I'm looking at is this huge retrace all the way back down here. And I was watching to see the action up in this area. Never wanted to hold, kept coming. And I'm looking at this $30 number, first of all, in RGNX. And I'm also looking at it's right at the 20-day. And you got the 50-day not too far below it. So I want to see, I know the trend looks like it's going to change here. But that's because of this big drop so many days in a row. But I want to see if it holds this 30, gets a little bit of a higher low here and wants to turn back up for a couple points. I think I'm looking for a bounce off this $30 area, and maybe today's a day. And I really like the risk reward on this for a push back up. Lower volume name, traded under 1 million shares on Friday. Keep that in mind. But I do like some of these names when the technicals start lining up and I have really solid levels to trade off of. So those are my 3 names today, guys. Just remind you to be safe. Don't forget about last week. A lot of low floaters moving and stuff like that. Let's keep your eye on some of those names to see if you get a nice trade off those. And just stay safe. It's Monday. Don't need to force any action. Let them come to you, and let's have a great day today, guys. Ricky, back to you, bub.
Thanks a lot, buddy. And as always, guys, if you don't have a plan, you don't have a trade, we need you guys to stay safe and preserve your capital, because when the setups are there, you need to be ready to hit. You got to strike when it's hot. All right, everybody, let's go out there and crush it. Peace.